What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, so we are going to have a reality chat / podversation. If you haven't seen this yet on the OWN network, Carlos King, the producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville and now also Love and Marriage DC, formerly of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, Carlos King has pretty much a Watch What Happens Live, even though it's not live, but I don't even think Watch What Happens Live is live anymore either. I do believe there's this taped at this time, but it's pretty much like Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live that comes on Bravo, but it's a once a week thing versus an every weeknight thing on the OWN network with Carlos King, where he will have two guests on. And his first episode, and it was Monique Samuels and Melody Shari of Love and Marriage DC and Love and Marriage Huntsville that were on his show. And I mean, I watched it. I didn't really know what to expect overall, but I did kind of think that it was going to just be like Watch What Happens Live. And I mean, it pretty much was. He has a DJ, a female DJ. I don't know if he's going to have a different DJ every time that he airs it, if he's going to give different people opportunities, because on Watch What Happens Live, they have someone that is, they're not really a bartender, but they're supposed to be like a bartender, so they would have like a different guest on behind the bar. And sometimes it's unknowns, sometimes it's reality stars, sometimes it may even be a celebrity. You just never really know. So I don't know if Carlos King is going to have something like that where he's switching out the DJ every week. But Melody and Monique were definitely messy on this. I'm not even gonna lie. I like Melody. I don't dislike Monique either, but you know, there's just a few issues that I just really would love for her to just address in the proper way, take accountability and put to bed and move forward. Because when you don't take accountability, it's hard for you to really move forward and put it in the past and put it behind you. And that's why to this day, that fight that she had with Candace Dillard still comes up as a topic of conversation, because if she had just herself taken accountability and responsibility for her role in the situation, I don't believe a lot of people would still be bringing it up, even if they may have agreed with the actions that she took. But anyway, I digress. Well, who I really want to talk about, I'm not even here to talk about Monique, but Melody and Carlos, both messy on here, because no matter how you feel about Destiny, and whether you feel she is not honest, she wasn't a good friend to Melody was right to cut her off as a friend because she's still friends with Martell, and Melody had a really bad experience with Martell, so she just doesn't want to have anyone in close quarters as a so-called friend that is still calling themselves and being a friend to Martell. And I understand that. In my opinion, I just really wish she would just be extremely honest about that and just put it like that. And if Destiny didn't respect it, then that's on her, but at least it would be the truth of how she feels, to just say, look, you were friends with Martell prior to even knowing me. I don't trust the dude at all, and I just feel that anybody that is still associating with him, I don't feel comfortable continuing to associate with them on a friend level and sharing things that may be private, because I don't know if it's going to get back to him or whatever. I just don't feel comfortable with it, and it's not a knock against you. It's just the way that I feel. I'm separating myself from people who still have a connection with Martell, because if I didn't have these kids, I wouldn't have any type of connection with him anymore either. But unfortunately, I still have to deal with him for the sake of our children that we share together. But when Melody a few weeks ago shared how she was very she was not direct in her saying that who she gave money to, but she said, you know, when I'm a friend, I'm the type of friend where I will help you and give you money even if you don't ask you for it, because if I see a need, then I'm going to help out. A lot of people assumed that she was talking about Melody was talking about Destiny, but it wasn't confirmed specifically until Melody came out recently and said that she did send some money to Destiny's PayPal, but she didn't say how much. And really, that wasn't any of our business. But Melody wants to continuously prove that she's right. And I get it. If you feel that you have been a victim in some situations and you feel that you are constantly the topic of conversation, or you are even being blamed for things, and I've seen some of that through the past seasons. I definitely have seen that. And I don't feel that people have been giving her the opportunity to really grieve, because divorce is a death. It's like a death. It is the death of a marriage. So it is like a death. And I don't believe that a lot of people have given Melody that space to really grieve. But to be honest with you, I don't really feel that Melody has given herself the grace to really heal from the termination, the death of this marriage with someone that is pretty much dead to her, but she still shares children with this person, so she still has to interact with him in some ways. That cannot be easy. I would not wish that on my worst enemy, and I am definitely thankful that that is not my lot in life. I have had to go through my own situations and struggles in life, so I'm really grateful that that isn't one of them. Some people feel, well, it's self-inflicted because she knew he was a dog at some point and she continued to be in a marriage with him. But listen, you can't tell somebody who's in a marriage how they need to handle things. It's when they feel that the time is right and when they feel that, that's it. And for most women, they try over and over again. Not all, but most women, they try over and over again. But when they get to the point of being done, that's really when they're done. And that's what I saw from Melody in the last couple of seasons when she yelled at him to sign the papers. I knew at that time she was done with him. I didn't think that this was her acting for the cameras, putting on, trying to show a brave face. But she's gone through that divorce. He's done some shady things to her during and after the divorce where the finances were involved. And I understand her having this hard shell and putting this wall up where those things are involved, and also dealing with other people because you don't really know who to trust at this point. So I get all of that. But on this show that Carlos King has, where Melody answered the question, because let's be honest, she was asked the question. Carlos went there. He will go there. And it's up to you how you respond. I don't believe that she should have said that. If you and Destiny are no longer friends, fine. If that's the choice that you made, that's your decision to make. Nobody can make you be friends with someone you don't want to be friends with. Look, she could have said, look, I don't like the type of wig the girl was wearing, so I just don't want to have anything to do with her. You can choose to disassociate yourself from people, and it doesn't have to make sense to other people. If you just choose to cut that connection and remove that person and that energy from your life, then that is what it is. So I'm just really trying to understand, was it the cocktails that caused Melody to answer that question when Carlos asked her, did you give Destiny money, and if so, how much was it? She could have just said, you know what, I chose to help a friend at the time. I don't want to get into that, but it is what it is. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to talk about it. That would have made her out to be the bigger person at that time. I just don't believe that she should have so matter-of-factly said, yes, I helped her out. I gave her about $5,000 or $6,000, and I came to her house and there was a termination notice for one of her utilities hanging on the outside of the door, so I just decided to help her out. That wasn't anybody's business to know that. But of course, Carlos, he's going to sit there and just really indulge in it, eat his popcorn, and you're giving him content, which is bringing more people to view it, which is putting more money in his pocket. I just don't feel that that was right. And I know Destiny has to be feeling some type of way at this point. You just don't do things like that. Look, I've been there where I've helped people out, and they were not appreciative, or they may have flipped the script or flipped on me or whatever, and you want to get in your feelings and get emotional and say, how dare that so and so, when I did this, when I did X, Y, and Z for them. That is a human nature to want to respond in that way. But you really have to be the bigger person and handle it appropriately, and you just don't go there. And there's even been times where I've helped employees. Now, I can say this. If she were an employee, if Destiny were an employee of Melody's, and then she came out and said she was a terrible employer and these were the conditions and I had to deal with this and I had to deal with that, and then she wanted to respond as such and say, look, I was a great employer and here's the proof. I paid her this when other people was making that. I gave her bonuses of this when she didn't deserve it. I paid for this and I paid for that, because I've been there. And sometimes as an employer, you have to defend yourself if someone is a former employee trying to trash you and trash your company to make you out to be something that you're not, because they're disgruntled for whatever reason. It doesn't even have anything to do with you. They just decide to move on, and then they want to try to light a match to the bridge that you've built to give them an opportunity and help them out. So I could understand even if it were a situation like that, but no, this was supposed to be your friend. I don't believe that Melody should have shared that information. What's done is done. She's already done it. And I'm quite sure that Melody is probably going to go live if she hasn't already done so, because I don't watch all of that and follow these people on social media like that. So if I see somebody else talking about it, that's kind of how I hear what's been said after the show has aired. So she probably already has, because she does go live a lot, so she's probably already done a live to explain herself and give her side of the story about that share that she shared on Carlos King's show. And Destiny, she'll probably do the same thing. Destiny's been making the rounds. There have been a few people on YouTube who have interviewed her. I may do a reaction to some of those, but at any rate, I just wanted to talk about this and just say, was Melody wrong for sharing that information? Or is this just what it is right now? I am hoping, and I'm just going to say this, I am hoping that Melody is not getting that big head syndrome that a lot of people get that are on these reality shows, when, to be honest, at this point, it's almost like it's just marketing for you, because the people who are going to watch it, they're either going to love you, hate you, or like me, just be kind of indifferent to it all. But the show just becomes a marketing tool for you so that you can push and promote your other business ventures, and you just will just easily get those sales, because these people already get to know you, like you, and feel that they can trust you in some way. So the sale, it just immediately comes after that, where it's not that big of a deal. You're not having to try to promote your stuff so much, because you've promoted yourself and you are the brand. And I just feel that it's coming to that, because to always hear about how much money she's making or all the other things that she's doing in business or whatever, and quantifying people based on if they're a multi-millionaire or not, or if they're struggling or not, and those different types of things like that, I just question it. And you just have to be really careful with that, because the humble child tastes the grace. You really have to have some level of humility to continuously be in business. I feel, I'm not saying that you don't get to toot your own horn at some point or be proud of making it and going through the storms. And she's definitely gone through a lot, but let's just be honest, even though she's gone through a lot with her marriage, having 4 children with this man that she was married to, she's got a whole lot of privilege, and she's gotten a whole lot more than a lot of other women have. So we can't just continue to make her out to be this consummate victim and just continuously, we have to support her because of this and that and the other and whatever. I mean, you can support whoever you want to, but I feel that people should be able to call right and wrong. But we live in a day and time now in society where people will call wrong right and call right wrong. And that's why I just don't even talk about a whole lot of things, because sometimes I feel like it's pointless, and then sometimes I just need to get it out and just share what's on my heart and on my mind. But I just want to know what you guys think. Do you feel that she shouldn't have went there by sharing that information to Carlos and to everyone who watched? about her helping Destiny out financially and how much money she gave her. I just felt that it was in poor taste, but you all have the right to your own opinion, so you can let me know what you all think about that in the comment section.